So we've been off the grid for 5 years now. And when we first moved out to this property, we had a very elementary solar setup. We didn't have any portable power stations available big enough for our needs. And at the time, we were using lead acid batteries, which were 400 pounds for just about, not very much power. Let's put it that way, in the power storage.
And there was very few options for portable power stations, right?
They were small. They didn't get big enough because the technology wasn't there. So the technology has changed so much in the last 5 years that they can get a lot of power storage in a small area. You can rely on portable power storage for a home in one of these power packs, or for emergencies in one of these power packs, or wherever you may need it.
So if you really consider the amount of money that we spent on our power system when we first moved out here 5 years ago, a portable power station would have been so much better for us. We had no idea what we were doing, and that would have taken away a ton of stress in our initial stages.
It would have saved us a lot of money too.
Which is why we've partnered with Jackery for this video. We've got the brand new Jackery Explorer 3000 Pro portable power station, and this is one of the larger units on the market these days.
It's Jackery's flagship model. It's a very impressive unit, and for the size of the power capacity, it's actually very light. This unit is large enough to power your off-grid home, off-grid cabin, off-grid van. If you need a emergency backup, if the grid goes down, this will run your house for quite a while. Basically every household appliance could be run off of this because it's a 3000 watt inverter. With a 3024 watt hour capacity, this has a huge amount of power storage. The Jackery Explorer 3000 Pro has 4 20 amp outlets, 1 30 amp outlet, which is perfect for RV users, 1 12 volt outlet, 2 USB-A, these ones here, those are 18 watts, and 2 USB-C for your laptop or a fast charging phone. Those are 100 watt outlets as well. The 3000 Pro can handle 1400 watts of solar input and 1800 watts of AC input, both of which you can use at the same time for extra fast charging. So the 3000 Pro also can be charged with a 12 volt car plug-in, though that's not a lot of power that comes out of there. So I think it takes about 35 hours to charge. So you can keep your unit charged up in your vehicle, but you definitely want to charge it before you go anywhere. If you guys have been watching the channel, you probably have clued in that I am a klutz and I lose all my tools all the time. And this is a beautiful sight to see, because if you lose these cables, you probably don't have eyeballs in your head. So Jackery has some very high quality cables for plugging into the wall, and this is your car charger you can plug into the car. And yeah, these you can't miss these laying around.
Now we're really hoping to have our barn build complete in time for this video, because we are planning on using the Explorer 3000 Pro to power the barn and everything we could need in that area of our property. And to do that, we can avoid running electrical lines underground all over the place. We'll just put this thing in its own special dedicated area and have all of our barn electrical run into this. So it'll be super straightforward.
And we will have the solar panels set up near the barn so that we can absorb all that power during the day, because we don't need a ton of power coming into this on a regular basis, because it's for lights, it's for fans, it's probably for, I think we'll probably hook up a pump into the barn so we can pump water into the animal dishes,
yeah,
keep them watered.
It's really a fraction of what this unit can actually handle, but we'll be able to rely on it for a very long time because we won't be drawing too much power from it.
And that's the nice thing about the capacity. If we don't get sun for a few days, this thing's got 3024, is that right?
Yep.
This thing's got 3024 watt hours, which is a huge capacity for a unit this size.
Because we don't have the barn build ready, we're just gonna run through some of our future plans to use this and just give you an example of what it can do. In a few weeks, I am going to be picking up some brand new baby chicks. They're going to be day old, and If you know anything about homesteading, little baby chicks need to be under heat constantly until they feather out, which takes about 6 weeks. So I'm going to be hooking up some brooder plates and heat lamps so that I can keep these chicks warm, and I wanted to do that separately from our solar system because that is a constant power draw that can drain our batteries pretty quickly. So by having this separate, I know that the chicks will be warm. It'll be good to go for as long as they need the heat.
So the Jackery 3000 Pro has an app that you can use to turn on the unit, turn off the unit, check the power usage being used, check the input power, the output power. You can basically control this whole unit from the app itself, which is great, so that when Katie wakes up in the middle of the night wondering if the heat lamp's still on because she can't see it, she can actually just pick up her phone and take a look at the app and see that the heat lamp is indeed still working, because we'll be able to see the amount of wattage being pulled for the heat lamp.
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to do later in this video is test how far the Bluetooth connection will work, so that if this is in our barn and I'm in the house, I want to make sure that the connection will reach that far. So we'll test that out in a little bit.
The other thing we're going to use this for is basically building the barn. All of our power needs will be met for sure. We haven't built the barn yet, but I know that all of our power needs will be met by the Jackery. I'm pretty sure we're not even going to have to charge it in the length of time it's going to take us to frame the barn. It's going to be able to run our table saw, chop saw, charge our batteries, probably have a radio running in the background so Katie and I can keep grooving. But yeah, this thing comes in handy for everything when you need power in remote locations. When you are charging and discharging, if it's just a little bit, there's no sound. But when you're charging or discharging at maximum capacities, there is a little bit of sound, but this has got to be one of the quietest units to be pushing or pulling in that much power. There is a fan, but it's not loud at all.
We finally have some beautiful weather, some sunshine, so I'm gonna hook up this Jackery to get it charged. We've got two 100-watt solar panels here that plug right into the unit to get it charged up. So yeah, let's give it a shot. What I love about these panels is they have magnets, so it's super easy to open. You don't have to fiddle around with Velcro straps or anything like that. And then on the back here we have the stands that will hold them upright. So I'm gonna undo those first. There we go. So I'm actually going to put that in front. So we've got the cables in the back of the panel. There is a little zipper pocket for them. So they just come right out of the back, and then they go right into the back of the unit, which I will show you in a second. But it's incredibly user-friendly. It just, you plug and play. It's not complicated at all, which is really awesome. All right, let's take a look and see what kind of wattage we've got coming in. We've got, so it says here, we've got 119 watts coming in. We do have a little bit of cloud today, so it's not 100%. And now we have a dog blocking the solar. Come on, boy, out you go. So at 119 watts, it says it will take 14 hours to charge. Of course, if you've got the full solar panel input, then it's going to be a lot faster. When I was unpacking these panels, I noticed there's a spot in the back to plug in a USB-C and a USB-A, so I'm going to try it out and see how my phone likes it. In other panels we've tried in the past, they didn't have any sort of plugins built into the solar panels, so I really like this because if you're out camping or whatever and you want to charge your phone, you can just plug it into the solar panel and not actually use any of the power in your unit if you have it in your camper or whatever. Yeah, it looks like it's a fast charge. It's saying 29 minutes until my phone battery is full. It's not empty completely, but that is fast charging. So I think that's a really cool feature with these solar panels. And of course you could like totally just zip it up into this little bag and keep your phone safe while it's charging. So I'm just looking here at the unit and it now says it's 112 watts. So I think it is taking away from the charge to charge my phone. which is not really that big of a deal, but something to consider if you're planning on doing this sort of setup. So like we mentioned before, the Jackery Explorer 3000 Pro can take up to 1400 watts of solar input. These are the 100 watt panels. Jackery does have 200 watt panels available as well. The Explorer 3000 Pro can handle up to 1400 watts of solar input, or if you plug it into the wall, it is 1800 watts of input to charge it. You can also charge with the wall plug-in and with the solar panels if you're in a hurry and you want to just like power this thing up as fast as possible. That is an option. And I think really the only downside to the panels is the proprietary connector. It would be cool if there was an adapter so that you could connect just a regular rigid solar panel to it just to get that extra fast charge if you're using this in kind of a permanent situation where you're at your off-grid cabin. Hi boy, go on. Otherwise, the portability of these solar sagas are really useful as well. Of course, it helps if you point your solar panels towards the sun. So now that I've changed the direction of these panels, I'm getting the full 200 watts. I'm actually getting 207 watts, so a little bit extra, which is really good. It's going to charge it a lot faster. Now, because I'm intending to use the Jackery in our barn, I want to be able to keep track of the power usage, the charge, make sure it's running or if it's turned off. And you can do all of that by using the Jackery app. And so one of the things that I wanted to test was how far away I can go from the unit and still be connected with the Bluetooth. So I've got it connected. It says we have 22 watts coming in. There's a cloud over the sun. So I'm just gonna walk over here and see how far away I can go. Okay, I'm at the barn site. The Jackery is on the other side of the house and I still have a connection. So I think that this is going to work well for monitoring it from inside the house if we have the unit in the barn. And I will be able to keep track of the heat lamps for the little baby chickens and stuff like that. Make sure everything is running smoothly, which is very awesome. So I'm going to be running on the Jackery is these brooder plates. These are good for 30 chicks and they only draw, well, the package says 20 watts, but the Jackery is reading 15 watts right now. It is still heating up, so maybe that has something to do with it. But at 87% on the Jackery, this says it will run for 99 hours. So that is plenty of time to have chicks under heat. I won't have to worry about charging this unit for quite a while, so I think that's really awesome. And one thing I also wanted to mention is that the Jackery remains efficient down to -20 Celsius, and I'm gonna say 4 degrees Fahrenheit, but I'll put the overlay of whatever it is in Fahrenheit.
Yes.
So we can still use it in the winter in the barn. If we want to put a heat lamp in on a cold day for the chickens, we can. Or if we want to run heated waterers, we can as well, because this thing will still run even if it's -20 out.
Now I think this might be the ultimate test. We've had 4 inverters on our off-grid system in the bus, and only one of them had enough power to run this. So let's see how this goes. That's really impressive.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Okay, cement mix.
Okay.
Let's go.
Sorry, I'm blown away by that. Okay.
You're blown away. Literally.
Blown away.
Now we are planning on using a concrete floor for inside the barn so that our animals are safe, nothing can dig under them, and we have a surface that is easy to clean and disinfect. So Greg is bringing over our cement mixer, and we're going to try that out on this Jackery and see if it can run it.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
What's the drawing? 200 watts. All right, I think we can confidently say we are going to have all the power we need for this barn build.
With Earth Day coming up on April 22nd, this is a great choice for clean power. You can get rid of the old gas generator that needs a carburetor clean, oil changes, blah 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 blah, emissions, all that. This is clean power. You suck in the energy from the sun through these great solar panels. It's the way of the future.
So with Earth Day in mind, and to celebrate the release of this brand new unit, Jackery is offering a huge discount by using the link down in our description and the code SG3000 Pro. You can get a massive discount on this unit. And Jackery is also having a sale on their website where there is up to 25% off of select products. So if you've been wanting to get one of these units, now is the time. Go check it out by clicking the link down in our description. And thank you to Jackery for giving us the opportunity to test out this really cool unit.